Olajumoke is a burgeoning nest of ideas. Her interests and inputs in science, the arts, socio-economic and geopolitical affairs is apparent at every encounter. She's an architect, professor, author, minister, radio host, philanthropist, wife and mother. A member of the Institute of Chartered Arbitrators, UK, and an alumni of several prestigious institutions. She is a speaker of note at summits and conferences at international level. She has served on the jury and panels of global initiatives such as the Cartier Initiative for Women Awards, the pioneer recipient of the New African Women in Business Award. How do we best describe someone whose abilities transcend the usual?
I get invited to programs and people are wondering what to call me because everybody has a title, and I understand because it's difficult to put me in a box. People would like to say you're an architect or a pastor or a philanthropist or a professor, or I'm not or this or that. I am a professor and an architect and a minister of the gospel and a philanthropist and a wife and a mother and an entrepreneur by the grace of God.
At 51, she is widely known to act and look much younger.
I was born in 1968. I wonder myself because, well, I don't know what 51 is supposed to feel like, but I feel like me. I think I'm trapped in a bit of a time warp because I try not to be this playful, but this is just who I am. And you're just going to have to cope with me like this. I also think that loving young people so much, having so many young friends, probably gives me an outlook that makes people think that I look or feel young.
She is the daughter of prominent professors. This probably influenced her becoming a polymath.
I think we should give the glory to God for that. However, my parents did expose me quite early, so I did a lot of traveling even as a toddler. Even we toured Europe when I was still 3 years old, and I read a lot. I read a lot of comics. I had the biggest comic collection in my primary school. So maybe I read a lot. But then to be a good architect, actually, you do have to know a little about a lot. But we give all the glory to God.
So how does Olajumoke maintain balance as a polymath?
My first secret is let God lead you. When God leads you, you look like you know everything. You look like you know what you're doing, because He will not start a journey He has not yet finished with you. So it's only what leads to where He wants it to go that you end up doing. Now that makes it look like you are smart, but actually you're only following someone who is super smart. You're following the omniscient one. Secondly, if you're going to marry right. The female protagonist in Beyond My Dream says, "Thou shalt marry" is not the 11th commandment, which means you don't have to get married. But if you do, please marry right.
She was on the jury of the Cartier Initiative for Women Awards.
Oh, we were looking for social entrepreneurs and businesses, women with entrepreneurial ideas that actually affect their community and make a difference. And I met some really fabulous and brilliant people from all over the world with social initiatives that can change the face of the planet. So it was a good experience.
As a leader herself, what would she say good leadership is?
Someone said that if you're leading and nobody's following, you're just taking a walk. So good leadership is identifying a preferred future, a vision, and being able to mobilize and galvanize resources, human, tangibles of all sorts, materials towards that goal. Good leadership is influence. It's not elective leadership per se. Appointed leadership is being able to influence people to go in the direction you want them to go for their own good and for the good of a critical mass. And that is my reason for Awesome Treasures Foundation, which is a philanthropic foundation, and it's been a family philanthropy for years. We have partners now who join us in the vision, but what we do is raise transformational leaders. So what is a common denominator we've found in a lot of our beneficiaries? Just someone actually caring and saying, you have a purpose, Everybody seems to be yet to discover their purpose in life, why they're here, what their assignment is. And the minute they discover that purpose, there is a fire that is burning them immediately. I'm an architect. Every day I practice architecture. Right now I'm working on a master plan. And we're one of the few architects in the region who can actually execute a master plan of such technicality. AD Consulting, the firm that I founded 25 years ago and I've been leading since then, is the most internationally recognized architectural firm in Nigeria. And we practice, this is what we do. This is my day job, architecture. People feel you cannot practice architecture at this level. Be a professor and still be a minister of the gospel. Says who? I would like to be remembered as one who defined a contemporary African architecture of global relevance. We need to define what African architecture, contemporary African architecture is, contemporary Nigerian architecture. And then when we do, it will be of global relevance. It should be something that brings a fresh knowledge, a fresh discourse to the table, to the body of work that we already have, to the architectural landscape globally.
In 2019, Olajumoke Adenowo was appointed a visiting professor and honored as a laureate and guest scientist at the Chair of Theory, History of Architecture and Art and Design at Germany's leading architecture program, Technische Universität München in Germany. She is noted for her effortless ability to make architecture relevant and acceptable to popular culture.
A museum is a locus of insemination where minds pollinate minds and catalyze visions to full bloom.
Architecture is about climate, it's about a people's aspiration, it's about empire, it's about national identity, it's about daily life. It encompasses everything.
You don't need to choose between beauty and performance. It performs and it's beautiful at the same time, like an African woman.
For me, it is better to light a candle than cast the darkness. So we can keep going on about how things are not working, or we can decide to be part of the solution and not the problem.